Roblox is not new to role-playing games in the slightest. In fact, there's quite a lot of them that center around high schools, strangely enough. Considering it's a kids game and I feel like kids would want to get away from school, but today's example is no different. This is just some random game I came across on my For You page, which actually has a lot of really nice quality. It's a very detailed school from the early 2000s, and I gotta say it has a lot of nice ambiance and such, but today, you know the real reason I'm here. It's not for roleplay, it is to break out of bounds, like I do in a lot of games. There's a lot of locked doors in the school that have clearly things behind them that normal players can't access, and I of course wanted to see if I could get into such areas, and undoubtedly, I did. Now, the biggest problem that I encountered in this was the fact that the /edance2 emote and normal custom emotes are just simply disabled, and this is combined with the fact that there are a freakishly large number of invisible walls just outside of the map everywhere you go, making it really difficult to get anywhere. However, I did discover a way. So it's up here in the theater room, and of course, although they did try and get rid of the /edance2 emote, which is very well known for glitching through walls in Roblox, they neglected to remove /elaugh. So laugh clipping is still easily possible, and with just a couple tries, I managed to get on the other side of the wall in the theater. Now, there is an invisible wall there too, but the developers actually left a little gap underneath in between the wall and the ceiling of another room, and just like that, by slowly sliding myself through that gap, I was able to get out into the open, and now I'm clearly out of bounds in the school. There are some pretty cool little development quirks left around here, like, for example, right here, there's this little vent or something, I think connected to a fan, with this weird code on it. I don't know if it's an asset from another game that they reused or something, but it's interesting. There's also this weird food bar, which is probably just something else that they then reused in the rest of the school, and you can click on the food, but it doesn't give you anything. There's also lockers and such, but those are probably just so that they could copy and paste them around the school, not surprising. I will say, though, it is a little interesting to just be standing on the edge looking into the everlasting abyss, because, you know, a school normally would not have an everlasting abyss just right behind the windows in front of it. If mine had that, I would be just a little bit concerned. But, you know, it's very interesting to see all of this, knowing that normal players will probably never get to have the chance to look at this behind-the-scenes area. There's actually an invisible wall in front of the door here in this location, which just shows the absolute dedication that the developers went through to stop people from getting here, which makes sense, because it doesn't exactly fit with the rest of the game. In fact, the entire school is surrounded by invisible walls, and pretty much every door has a very thick one behind it, and that is why I needed to use the wall in the theater, because that was sort of the only way to get out of bounds that I could realistically find. But it did end up working, and it does lead to a lot of funny looking screenshots and also discoveries of, you know, how the game is made, and a lot of what goes on that you can't really see. Although a lot of it is just development extras and, of course, unfinished areas, there are some interesting exceptions, like, for example, the only room in the entire school which you cannot get to unless you go out of bounds, and that is the library. I think it is kind of ironic that the only room in a school that normal people cannot have access to is a library which contains knowledge and the ability to learn. There's just something very poetic about it that I can't necessarily overlook. in this video without saying, because it just strikes me as so interesting that in a school, the only place you can't get to is the library, and the normal door that would allow you entrance has a very thick, one of the thickest in the game, invisible wall behind it, which literally makes it impossible for anyone to get in unless they do the method that I did. Or, of course, if they're an admin and can open that door with their incredible administrator access. We'll actually get to see the admins come on a little later in the video to give me a very lovely warning about glitching out of bounds, which clearly they don't want you doing because of all of the measures that they took to stop me from doing it. But that did not necessarily work. Now, just walking around, the library itself doesn't exactly have anything very remarkable or distinct about it that really catches the eye, except for a couple posters and such. But for the most part, I just think that it's very funny that this library is completely cut off from the rest of the game. But, of course, it could make a lot of sense if the library is still actively being developed, or maybe it really is just a extra secret location for the admins to hang out. I have no idea. The hallway outside seems like it's going to branch off into the rest of the second floor when that's done. Also, another interesting thing about the library is on top of it, there are quite a few development assets. A lot of them are just the posters you see around the school, but a couple of them are actually dummy ragdoll models, it seems to look like, that have testing ranks above them. And these ranks actually have some pretty interesting words above them. Looking at screenshots that I took, because it was kind of hard to move my camera around in the video form, I don't really have to read what the yellow rank says, but it is kind of goofy. The bottom text seems to say, "I don't even know why I'm playing this. It's low-key fun though, so I keep telling my friends about it." I think that's the bio text. It's obviously the contributor rank, which I think staff or admins have. I don't know what the username is. It looks like Goated V2 or something, and the title or display name is Nah, I'd win lol. Okay. It's funny though. I guess that just a developer was messing around. And then the other one just says, Oliver, username unknown, hello, this is a short bio. Not much. I can't really tell what rank this is, and also what the username is, but still, this one seems a lot more normal than the other one, which I got a bit of a laugh out the first time I saw. Now, actually, in this video, interestingly, the moderators showed up while I came back for footage, and told me that they would ban me if I glitched out of the map again. I asked why and actually started dancing, because I thought it would be funny, and they just gave me the response that I was abusing glitches. I get that. It makes sense why they would want to ban me for that, but pretty clearly I'm not causing any harm whatsoever or hurting players. I'm simply exploring using a pretty well-known bug. I get the feeling that they may have wanted to ban me just because they were not too happy about the fact that they had gone through all of these great lengths to prevent players from breaking out of bounds in their game, and it was all for naught, because pretty easily I was able to find my way into a restricted area. But, you know, it is their game, they can do whatever they want, that's perfectly fine. Luckily, I did get all of my footage for this video before the moderators showed up, so I didn't have to go back and glitch out of bounds to get any more footage. Now, of course, with my channel, I don't use exploits at all, and actually, glitching out of bounds is not against GOS, and there's a lot of Roblox games that, actually especially obbies, that use these types of clips and glitches in their game, so, you know, Of course, this specific Roblox game didn't actually have a list of rules saying you couldn't break out of bounds, but I'm not here to argue with staff. They can do whatever they please. But still, I do think that it was very funny. I have never once had moderators show up to tell me that my glitching is not allowed in the slightest. So this was definitely very funny to see. Anyway, as always, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm thinking about actually making a series, if this video is well received, of me breaking out of multiple Roblox games, because I've always wanted to do that, and I have, over the past years, gone out of bounds in a lot of really cool places, and seen a lot of really cool things, and I think that that would make for a very interesting video where I don't cover just one game, but I cover a lot of games, all in rapid succession. And there's a lot of great stuff out there. Anyway, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you around.